Hi guys, Stuart and Alan here for Outdoor Basics, and today we're going to do, I think people call it a pocket dump. Basically just what I carry in my pockets for this time of year and what I'm doing out and about in the woods. Couple of things on that, guys. Obviously what you carry in your pockets is going to depend on a couple of factors. For example, where you are in the world, what season it is, and what your general tasks are for what you're trying to do. This is just general kind of my baseline pocket stuff that I carry year round out doing bushcraft, fieldcraft and general outdoor activities in the woods. So that's what today is. So I'm going to show you my pocket dump in a minute, and in my pocket dump I include my belt kit, because for me this is my first line equipment, and what that means is this is what's on my person at all times. It never comes off me. So that's my pocket contents and my belt kit while I'm out and about. If also you want to consider within that the clothing that you're wearing. If you look back through our kind of back catalogue of videos, you'll see our review of the Helican Tex Pilgrim pants, the Helican Tex Pilgrim top. I talk about having a technical base layer on, and then just good quality boots. For example, I'm wearing Loa Gore-Tex patrol boots. So the clothing that you're wearing is also kind of part of this as well. So that all depends on seasonality, location and activity. So take that into consideration for where you're going, what you're going to do when you're there, and what are the conditions likely to be while you're there. So that's something to consider. So without any further ado, let's go over what I have in my pockets. So first thing I'm going to go over is my belt kit. There's also a review of this belt kit and what I carry on it and all that good sounding stuff on our page. You'll see it. So basically it's just I think this is an 1157 tactical belt and a tourniquet and FFD sleeve from FRV Tailoring, if anybody's interested. Great bits of kit. If you want to know why they're on the belt that way, look at the review video. But basically, if you're doing things involving saws, axes, knives and other sharp implements in the wild, you should have a tourniquet and an FFD on you that you can get with either handed. For example, if I slash this hand open and I'm having to get a bite on it and hold it up, I want to be able to reach my tourniquet and or FFD with the other hand, yeah. Also, caveat on that, don't buy a tourniquet if you don't know how to use one. Makes no sense. Get out there and seek some knowledge, guys. You're already doing that by looking at this video, so seek some first aid knowledge. I keep saying this in videos because I don't think it can be said enough. Okay, so on the belt itself, I have my primary cutting tool, which is my heavily modified MOD survival knife from Andy. Within that I have a pouch. In that pouch I have, generally this pouch doesn't get touched, this is a standalone emergency pouch. I have a fire steel with striker, I have a bellows, I don't know why I'm having a mare to get this out. I have a lighter, a nice bright lighter so I don't lose it, with a load of Gorilla tape on it, yeah. Also within that you'll see that I have inner tube holding the sheath on the knife, and behind it there, I'm not going to pull it out, I have a wee pair of tweezers and some fat wood pushed down the back. So that's an independent fire kit there, guys. I could get a fire going anywhere with inner tube, a bit of fat wood and some Gorilla tape, a lighter and a ferro rod and a bellows and that knife. I could get a fire going in pretty much every conditions as long as there's wood around. On the other side, I have this awesome bit of kit. Leatherman Wave. I think it's called a blackout edition maybe, but if you look closely, I don't know if Alan can zoom in on that or see it, it says Outdoor Basics on it. So my wife got me that for my birthday, obviously my 21st birthday, so my wife bought me a Leatherman Wave for my 21st. It's my 21st on Tuesday, so yeah. So Leatherman Wave, I've wanted one for a long time. I used two multi-tools while I was in the military. I had a Gerber suspension and I think I had a Leatherman strong arm, I think it's called, but I always had my eye on that. So yeah, that's the first part. Primary cutting tool, emergency bleed stop first aid, and a Leatherman that I'm going to use loads for all sorts of different activities. Next kind of on my belt, some heavy duty work gloves. I've been using these more than most other gloves, and again, depending on seasonality, if it was the winter, I'd have some winter gloves. If it was kind of wet conditions, I'd maybe think about Gore-Tex gloves, or for example like neoprene gloves that will still keep your hands warm when wet. But for this time of year and what we've been doing, a lot of building up of camp and processing a lot of wood, these heavy duty kind of suede leather work gloves from Stanley, just bang a wee bit of a hole in the top, some paracord loops. I got that for my mate Alec Mary's, he going outdoors, he does this, just bang that like that, and that works great. So that's what's on my belt. Yeah, that's my work kit on my belt. Okay, so I'll start from this trouser leg pocket and I'll work my way up my body. In the main pocket here, remember what I said, this is a redundancies kit, that's not going to be used, that just lives with that knife. I have my fire making line, so in my which is lanyarded to myself. Now it's not just lanyarded to me to like make me look cool or whatever, it's because these are really important bits of kit that are small and could easily be lost in this. There was a guy, I think Joe Robinett maybe, switched on cat man, like had really good channel, like hundreds of thousands, if not over a million subscribers, really switched on. He done a programme, I think Alone or Lost or some sort of survival thing, where he lost a fire steel and that was it, it was the end date for him, he couldn't get a fire on the go, because I think they could only take 10 items. But when I went through Royal Marines recruit training, they love you to lanyard everything to yourself, and if you don't lanyard it to yourself, they fuck it off into the Ulu and you need to go and get it on your belt buckle, which is like super awesome, crawling through gorse bush on your face, trying to find something, like, yeah, do it. So lanyarding to yourself is not only going to stop you having to crawl around on your face, it's going to stop you losing things. So this is lanyarded to me with some 550 cord, 550 fire cord actually. So I've got a big solid ferro rod which is years old, with a load of Gorilla tape on it, a huge chunk of fat wood. The reason I like this chunk of fat wood is people carry wee bits of fat wood and that's hard to get scrapings off of, whereas this big bit is years old and I just get big scrapings off it with my knife. Next, I've got my lighter. Again, this can just come off. It's 2 lighters put together, much easier, and that's put together with some Gorilla tape as well. You'll see there's a theme. Gorilla tape is an amazing tinder, burns like burial even when wet and burns for a long time. Gorilla tape with 2 lighters attached, and then a striker. You'll notice although I've got my knife, I carry independent strikers, because what if I lost my knife and all I had was this? So yeah, my tinder line and my fire starting line lanyarded and attached on into my main pocket. In this long horizontal zip pocket here, I've got my Batco Expert folding saw. Apparently it is different for the Batco Laplander. It feels different when we're cutting wood. Austin said something about it. I think it might be a different steel or something. I don't know. If we've looked up that wrong and we're chatting shit, I apologise. But it definitely seems to work different. So yeah, I've got my Batco Laplander. So you can see that in these pockets on this left leg, I could get wood, process wood and start a fire in pretty much any conditions. On this leg here, I've not really got anything in this one. I've got some number 36 bank line on a wee crab line that I made myself, and there's nothing else in that, absolutely nothing else in that. I kind of leave this side empty for, like I said, seasonality, operational and situational things. Oh, no operational, I'm not going operational anymore. If I did, it's all gone wrong. I don't know. So yeah, situationally and seasonality, whether I might need to carry some contact gloves or some extra bits and bobs in there, leave that pocket empty. In these pockets here, guys, at the moment I carry a wee bit of hand sanitizer, mainly so that Rona doesn't kill us all in our sleep. But in all seriousness, if we're cooking food and stuff out here and we're doing things, before I process any of the food, I just bang some hand sanitizer on, and before I eat or do anything, bang some hand sanitizer on, keep myself protected, stop the lads going down, stop me going down. The last thing you want when you're out and about in the woods is a dicky tummy. So yeah, but I generally leave these pockets empty, because I think if you're kind of front hand pockets, They're good hand warmer pockets, aren't they? In the military, you're never allowed to put your hands in your pockets. Well, what the fuck is the point? Look at them. Perfect. So every sergeant major in the world, fuck you, get your hands in your pockets, lads. Hand warmer pockets. So yeah, I don't really like too much in there because it affects how I move around a wee bit. Moving on to my smock, I leave these pockets empty. This is a kind of, is it a kangaroo pouch, I suppose you could call it. It's kind of fleece lined as well. This is lovely. So I can't put anything in there if, again, depending on what I'm doing, if I'm moving around, I can fill that pocket up. Next, this one I leave empty. Don't really need anything in it, to be honest. Here though, in this top foldable pocket, I have my head torch. And this isn't lanyarded, but it is lanyard. It's just kind of put through in a basic loop. Put through in a basic loop and then folds off. Nice simple head torch. Top tip, guys, right? See, with your head torch, have your middle battery reversed so that it doesn't accidentally turn on in your pocket and you lose all the power, and then you come to use your head torch and it's not working. So reverse your middle battery, and always do the middle battery, and then you're not faffing around in the dark thinking, what battery was it? Middle battery, middle battery. And again, just goes through the wee loops. That's why I like this, man, these Pilgrim smocks and that. Helicon Techs, think it out, so they do. In this zip pocket here, always in my right one, I carry my mobile phone, fully charged. You'll see there, I'll just get rid of these. You'll see here it's got a full battery. I don't know if you can see that there, but whatever. Don't even bother zooming out. Trust me, guys, it's got a full battery. I've got what, 89%. So, a mobile phone, right now, let me cover it right. People, last time I said about a mobile phone in the woods, people were like, a mobile phone while bushcrafting, really? A mobile phone while you're out in the woods trying to relax, really? Yes, really, you mad person. We're out here with knives and axes and saws, doing things. There's cliffs up there that we need to walk round. If somebody creams in or has an accident, how are we going to get help? If I did have a nightmare where I had to use one of these, God forbid, on myself or someone else, I would want an ambulance at the bottom of the road waiting on us when we got there. Or I would want a helicopter landing up in the open field up the top, or like to get somebody out that's had a real bad injury. Yes, a mobile phone is essential, absolutely essential. And I don't see why people can't see that, and I think that it's completely irresponsible for people to go out without a means of communication to raise the alarm for themselves. Just something to think about. For me, it's a no-brainer. On this side, excuse me, you'll see that I have a compass, again lanyarded, and it's lanyarded at a decent length. I really don't understand people getting into the wild when they can't navigate. People disappear into the Ulu and they don't know how to navigate, or they rely on a GPS. Again, remember this pocket here, I said would predominantly be left empty. I'd have a map in here. I'd have a map. That's how I would carry it now that I'm a civvy. I would have a map in here, or possibly even have my map in here if I needed it. And that would be a map for the area I'm in, carried in an Ortley B map case, A4 size generally I used. So yeah, a compass as well is just essential for general bearings. Being able to map read. I know that I teach basic map reading. Whenever we run a basic course, we chuck a bit of map reading in for people, a bit of basic land navigation. First in events teach it. There's loads of guys out there that with like absolute mountains of experience, and there's this mad thing called Google. So maybe try teaching yourself some navigation. Don't rely on electronics all the time. So yeah, that's a basic pocket dump. I have a means of getting a fire. I have a means of fixing any immediate injuries like bleeds and stuff that are going to cause some various problems. I have cutting tools. I have a means of getting help. I have protective equipment. I have a navigation aid. Just basic stuff. And for where you are in the world, this might not be enough. this definitely might not be enough, but for where I am and what I'm doing, this is enough. So for this is just generally around camp, first phase equipment. Second phase equipment, which I'm going to do a separate video on, would be I would take like a small Claymore bag or man bag and have that on me if I was venturing further away from my Bergen, my large rucksack. So first, second and third line equipment, it breaks down. But for just pottering around camp, this is what I would have on me. If I had to go further to get extra wood or do whatever, I would possibly take my second line equipment. But yeah, you want to have redundancies, and you want to have a baseline level of equipment on you for your safety and everybody else's. So yeah, it might have been a bit of a long-winded video, but there was a few basic points I wanted to make, i.e. first aid, navigation, mobile phone, basics guys, yeah. So as always, if you like what we're doing, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. As I've said before, this is what I carry for where I am in this season. You know, doing what we're doing here, it's not the same for everybody. Everybody's going to be different. You don't need to like get over super excited and be like, I carry a Trident. Like, amazing. If that's for where you are, that's great. It's just something to think about. Baseline equipment, baseline first aid kit, baseline wood processing fire kit, baseline emergency raising kit, baseline navigation kit. As always, I've been Stuart, he's been Alan, yous have been awesome, and this is Outdoor Basics. Whoa. Subscribe.